I am Scott Zwicky from with Cellular Dynamics, and we are a NexGen customer. And I'm just going to take about 10 minutes of your time and tell you about our environment and basically why we chose NexGen. So it's a little bit about Cellular Dynamics really quick. We don't do cell phones or cell towers. We make human cells. So we're in the biotech industry. So I'm not a scientist, so I can't answer a lot of questions about that, but we do make several different cell types, and enough of that. I'll get into the why we chose NexGen. I started with Cellular Dynamics in 2008, consulted with them for about 2.5 years, came on full-time with them, and started to help them through their growing struggles, mainly around all the data they're creating. So they take a lot of images and they want to keep it forever. So we had a small, what I consider small now at this point in my career is 25 terabytes of storage, and we ran out of that space very quickly. So we needed, and it was also a solution that after like 4 years, it was no longer a viable solution. It wasn't upgradable. So we wanted to choose a solution that would give us a little bit more longevity and flexibility, performance. So we started our search for a storage solution, and the hybrid flash arrays that NexGen offers was very compelling. We looked at several other options, but we ended up with NexGen, and I'll just kind of go over a few of the reasons why we chose that. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use my notes. Otherwise, I'll lose my train of thought because I am a customer. I'm not a professional presenter. So if you want any clarification, just ask. So the number one reason, at least at this point in time, we were a growing company. We weren't profitable. We were out looking for venture capital, and so we had to keep costs down as much as possible. So one of our main things was cost. So for performance, it was one of the lowest cost options with comparable performance from any of the other vendors. The second reason was another cost option, and it was cost per gigabyte. And there's more factors than just the cost per gigabyte. It was maintenance costs and support costs. So we got a 5-year maintenance plan with ours that covers all the maintenance and all the support. So if I added additional storage to this, I wasn't hit with a large maintenance or support pack cost option. So the third reason, I guess that's really my third reason, the support cost and maintenance, was a 5-year, 24/7. And like I said, no additional cost for adding capacity for support or maintenance. So the fourth reason that we picked this was the footprint. So in our data center, we don't really have a data center. We have a closet that was converted into a data center. They put some air conditioning in there. They put some sensors in there. And we had a solution that was 18U. We basically had a half rack. We ended up adding a full rack. So we basically got a 1.5 racks in our data closet. And this solution was 6U total. And it was 96 terabytes of space. This 18U solution was 25 terabytes. And to be fair, this did have some higher speed spinning disk in it, but it still didn't give us the performance of the NexGen. So we went with an N5 solution. At the time, I believe at the time of the purchase, it was kind of their biggest one they made. And the 150 total system IOPS, so you get 150,000 total system IOPS. One of the nice things about this, and the fifth reason why we chose it, was for the flexibility the system gave us and the QoS. And you could say that's two, but you can really easily implement QoS on your applications and your servers, and you can move those around as needed when you figure out, hey, it's really not needing all that performance, I can move it down. So you basically have kind of three high-level levels of QoS, and you have different policies. So this is like policy 1, highest level. You got 2 and 3 over here, and I believe this is 4 and 5 policies. So on your mission critical stuff, you're guaranteed 50K IOPS. And I gotta peek and look at my notes here to make sure I get these numbers right for you. So you get 500 megabytes. I'm sorry. Yeah, megabytes per second throughput. And you have a latency guaranteed of 10 milliseconds. Now, 10 milliseconds may seem like a long time in storage, but we're really seeing closer to 6 milliseconds performance at this level when we do some analysis. And it has some really nice monitoring features. You can take a look at this. I don't know if you've looked at some of the demos or some of the whiteboards that have been done here, but you have some really nice monitoring tools. And once we decided on the solution, the ease of use, the ease of installation were just bonuses. I mean, they kept telling us how easy it would be to install and set up. It was hard to believe, but it really was. So business critical, you're looking at 20K IOPS. And I guess I don't have to write that down every time. 250 meg and 20 milliseconds. And then I'll just drop down to policy 4 and 5, or actually policy 4, which is in the top of the non-critical. And this is 5K IOPS. Yeah, 50 meg. And this is 40 milliseconds. So you put your volumes in these QoS slots, and you just let it run. And if you find out you're not getting the performance here, you move it up. And basically, what this determines is how quickly you're using their flash. Pretty much everything mission critical is going to be loaded in flash right away. Anything that is just business critical will get moved up if it gets used often. And if you have a degraded scenario where controller B fails, mission critical will continue to run at the highest level and only start taking away from business critical if it starts losing its performance. So all really nice features of a enterprise solution. It's the firmware is upgradable, which we really like. So we've only had to go through one upgrade, and we experienced no downtime. We did buy a second NexGen, another N5 150, and that one is 32 terabytes of storage, so basically only half and only 3U. And we use that for replicating for our DR site. And actually, we're using a third-party backup tool to do that. But it also runs a site where there's 25 users and they have really limited resource needs. But same 5-year warranty, and we don't have any on-site IT people there. And I think I visit the site maybe once or twice a year and don't really have to think about that device. So any questions about how the storage works or how we're using it?
You have one primary and one DR. You replicate between them?
Yeah, we use third-party software to replicate between them.
You just said that. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. Yep.
Can I ask what software you use to replicate between them?
Yeah, we use Veeam right now. That we're using that to replicate just like mission-critical servers, and then we also have a data target that's a separate device that actually does some replication for us as well, not associated with the NexGen product. I'll tell you one more quick little story here. It has a snapshotting capability. It's really easy to grow volumes when you need to. You can modify these volumes, put them in these different quality of service buckets. But the snapshotting, we had a problem with a large data volume we had set up. It was like a 6 terabyte data volume, and basically it wouldn't mount that volume. So what we did is we used the snapshotting technology, we cloned it, and then I believe it was a VMware engineered, because there was a problem with that volume in VMware, and then they were able to recover that data for us. We were able to restore that volume and get back up and running. So just a use case for the snapshotting technology. We're a pretty small shop. I don't know a lot about storage networks, and so anytime I have any problems or questions, I basically go to the experts at NexGen, and they're able to help me out. So